Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.
Have you ever wondered if there are still people in the world who have your best interests in mind? Well, my next two guests, Coach Sparty and Coach Felicia from the I.B.T.T Blazers, will answer that question and more, like, what does I.B.T.T stand for and where did it come from? So take a listen, tell me what you think, and we'll see you on the other side. How y'all doing this evening?
Doing great. Doing great. Thank you. Doing great.
All right. Doing all right. So, you want to go ahead and get started? I want to start with just kind of the story of how you guys started with I.B.T.T and how the name came about and just kind of, the origins of it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll let my wife take care of that. That's her thing.
Actually, it didn't start out with track. We really started out as just a ministry for youth. We would rent out gyms and facilities out in Garland, out in the Garland area, and also in Dallas. Mm-hmm. And we would get kids together, and we would get in a circle. And I was really, the way it really started is I moved from Arkansas. We moved into Texas, didn't have family here. Was used to doing stuff in the community because that's what my parents did. We grew up in that. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, Lord, I don't have anything to do here. I'm going back home. I can't stay here. I don't have friends. I don't know anybody besides work. I feel like I'm not doing anything. So I prayed. I went home and my dad sent me back. He was like, you know what? You have a husband now. You can't run back and forth Arkansas, Texas. You got to go back and stay with your husband. You're married now. You can't keep up. We love you. We want to see y'all, but you can't come home every weekend because you can't figure out what you need to do. Mm-hmm. So I prayed. I was like, Lord, I got to figure out something. I got to find something to do. So D'Antonio and I, he was a little baby. He was, 6, 7 years old. He's riding in the back of the car. And something hit me. And all of a sudden it just says, I'm better than that. And I was like, I'm better than that. So I said, D'Antonio, I said, when I say certain things, I want you to say, I'm better than that. Right. Mm-hmm. And so I would say drugs. And he'd say, I'm better than that. He's in the back seat. Right. I would say lying. I'm better than that. Fighting. I'm better than that. And so at that point, I think that's when the ministry actually started. Mm. So it was just given to me. It was put in my spirit that because we work with youth so much at home, and that's what my parents did, sold back into the community. I felt like, you know what, that's something that I could do because a lot of the kids that we did know, they didn't have fathers in the home that D'Antonio knew and that he was friends with. Mm-hmm. So I felt that Sparty, being Dun's dad, was working with a lot of them in football and stuff like that. That would be a good way to try to mentor the youth. And so we just came up with I'm better than that. So we started renting out gyms, renting out places. We would go to those places free. They would come in for free. We'd have a big circle. And we would just speak with them about the statistics that are placed on them now. Like when they're coming in the classroom, they're not saying how many of y'all are going to be doctors, lawyers, attorneys. They're really looking at you all saying, how many of y'all going to be in jail? Mm-hmm. How many of y'all going to be selling drugs? And we wanted to change that phase. And I'm better than that was a way of changing that. So when we were talking to them, we would teach them that, like, when someone comes in, you tell them who you want to be, regardless of if your dad was on drugs or your mom or you were raised in the hood, you can be better than that. You know what I'm saying? So we started teaching them that and started just going around and helping the kids in the community in the low income areas, just teaching them that, yeah, you may be here, but you don't have to stay here. You know what I'm saying? You're better than where you're at, but you have to believe that. And we started doing that, and it just went out. We had about 100 kids. Yeah. We didn't know anybody. So we knew that it was something that God had, because we started out one time, we had like 30 kids. Next thing you know, 50 kids, and families will tell other families, and 100 kids out. Mm-hmm. And God always made a way for us to get the facilities free. He always provided the food. We always had everything we need in order to make it work. Yeah. And so once our kids were going to school in the Richardson area, and we moved back over here more to Lake Dallas, and they started going to school here in Lake Dallas. And so we weren't in that area as much. And so I started Nina running on the track club in Louisville. At that time, they had Lake Cities. And she was running. We just wanted to give her something to do. And she was, 7, 8 years old. Mm-hmm. And we just noticed that, everybody was paying their money. But if you weren't naturally fast, you weren't being noticed. You know, kids were playing in the dirt and Sparty and I would just be sitting there like, you know, we know that they may not be fast. Nina was just blessed enough to be fast, you know, but the other kids weren't. But it's like they didn't exist because they weren't fast. They weren't who the team, I guess, felt. And not saying anything about them, you know, just not who they felt that they could use at the time, you know. So they focused more on the kids that already had the natural ability. So we took Nina, we ran that year, we finished up and we said, you know what, we can do this. So we just grabbed 4 friends, 3 of our friends, it was 4 of them. We started out with 4 kids. And we started out with I.B.T.T. Antonio gave us that because I was like, well, what can we call it? You know, we've been going with I'm Better Than That as the ministry, but what can we name the team? And Antonio was like, well, Mom, you say I'm better than that, so let's just make it I.B.T.T. And I was like, okay, that still means the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, yeah, we can keep that. I said, because I wanted to maintain the ministry side of it, you know, and it wasn't to even grow. We weren't even trying to grow. We were just trying to give Nina and her few friends something to do. And we went from 4 kids one year. D'Antonio decided he wanted to come with 4 of his friends. So we started with 8 kids and we would be out running with just those 8 kids. They dominated. I mean, you know how it is when God has something, a purpose and a calling that he wants you to do that you're not even aware of. He gives you favor where, you know, you shine with just 4 people and you had these other big teams that have been out, been around. But I guess he shed the light on us and people would come up and ask us, where y'all from? You know, and we'd be like, well, we're from Den, you know, and well, are y'all accepting kids? And we're like, well, not really. We're not, you know, we're just here. You know, we got our 8 kids and we're just here. Yeah. And so from one year, we went from the 8 to 75 new kids joining the team. Wow. And then from there, it went on to, to another 75. So we were up to like 200 kids in no time with just us coaching, you know, because we weren't expecting it. And the snow was happening because his daughter Darier ran, but it was only like 3 of us at the time, right? Absolutely. And so I said, you know what? I said, now that I can't get over to Garland to continue to do the ministry and stuff that I was doing, I could do it right here. I can offer something different that most clubs are not offering. You have to pay, you know what I'm saying? You have these fees, you have to pay dues, you have to pay fees, you have to be good, you have to try out for a lot of the teams. And I said, you know what, since I can't get to my church, which is in Dallas, during the week to actually volunteer and do things that they do at church during the week, I said, this could be my way of giving back to the community. So I said, you know what, let's do it. I said, we're going to make it as cost efficient for parents as possible. We're not going to have tryouts, and we're going to build a community where any kid can come and feel like they're somebody, feel like they're special. Even if they're not the fastest or if they're not the outspoken, they're going to come and have a community of kids where you can always find someone to connect to, you know? Yeah. And so I said, we're going to build on this. I said, and we're going to keep it going. And as it grew, it kept growing. And people would be like, you need to charge. I said, no. This is the ministry that God gave me. Now, whatever God gives you, it may be about the money. It's not about the money for Sparty and I. We work full time. I'm sowing back into someone. People sold into us when we were younger. You know, we didn't have a lot, so we couldn't do a lot. So we want to offer where parents have 3, 4, 5 kids, they can still run and not have to worry about if only 2 can run because that's all they can afford. Yeah. You know, we want to keep it where bring the whole family. Everybody get to do something in one spot, have fun, build relationships. Long-lasting relationships, build friendship, build self-esteem. And at the same time, we give back, you know, and that's how it started. I mean, it didn't have anything to do with track. We didn't think we'll still be doing it now, you know. We thought that we were just going to do it with D'Antonio and Nina, and once they were done, we're going to. We're going to, and it grew so much, and God set a foundation that I just felt like I couldn't leave. So people thought that once D'Antonio stopped, that we would stop. I was like, no, it's bigger than them. And then once Nina stopped, everybody was like, well, so are y'all? I'm sure y'all really done now because y'all don't have any kids. I said, no, I'm not doing this for my kids. My kids didn't need this. I'm doing this. I'm giving back. I'm trying to give to other people. I'm trying to sow into other people. And me doing that, God has opened up doors for my kids. D'Antonio, how would he ever get into Stanford University? Not us. We can afford to send him there. You know what I'm saying? And nothing that he did spectacular, but because of what we sold into other people and because we're giving back our time and not asking for anything, but just kids be blessed,
Yeah.
So it just grew into this, and we're still here 18 years later.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that you say that it started as a ministry, because I didn't know that, but just seeing by how you guys are always, every practice, Coach Sparty and Coach Felicia are going to be there. And it's just been, like you said, for 18 years. And I'm not sure how y'all do that so much. And you it must just be, like you said, God just blessing you with the energy and the strength and the knowledge and the wisdom to just do all the things that y'all do. Cause I don't see how y'all could do it, but y'all happily do it.
It has to be something that God actually calls you to do, because it's time consuming. Although you're giving back, you still have to deal with you'd be so surprised at all the other negative things that come on top of it that you also have to deal with. So it has to be something. I've had people that have left our team because they felt we were too big and started their own team and came back to us in tears. They only had 20 kids that they took or did whatever, and came back like, we want to apologize to y'all. We didn't know. We thought it was just, you could just get up and do it. One guy was in tears. He said, you are called to do what you do. Yeah. He said, I had 20 kids. And he said, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, and a lot of times it's kids, but it's parents also.
Yeah.
You got to deal with parents that, it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And that's in any sport, anything. The kids are usually not the issue. It's usually the other side.
Yeah. Well, it's not
fun.
Just that you have to deal with, kids and parents. It's all the admin duties that go with it. The uniforms, the getting
a lot that goes behind it. Yes. So
collecting the money for each track, like the track meets where you have to pay for each race. You have to do all of that and keep track of all that. And
you're up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning time getting it done, and it's a lot. But like I said, because he's called us to do it, what seems like a lot to most people, I'm not saying that it's easy, but it is. And it's easy, but it's not. But it is.
It's because of parents like Tony.
Yes.
They make you go.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
yes.
It's been a pleasure.
If you buy into what we're trying to do with your child, it'll all work out.
Yeah.
And we've been blessed where our organization is where we try to cater to lower income people that have a lot of kids that need the help. But what I try to explain to most of our people, because people be like, oh, everybody just on y'all team because they don't have to pay anything. And I tell them that over half our parents could go and pay $300 a month to be on anybody's team.
Right.
Half our parents could do that. Right. They're not here because of the money.
Absolutely.
They're here because they see the vision. God knows certain people to plant with you, you know what I'm saying, to go through your journey with you. I said, they're not here because it's free.
Right.
Most of our parents are educated working people.
Yes.
They could afford to pay to go anywhere.
Right.
It's just who God sent with us and knew that we would need certain people standing in the gap with us in order for us to continue to do what it is he wants us to do.
Yeah.
We
can see,
people like you are.
Well, we can see that the care and the giving is there. And that's why, we don't mind helping out and jumping in and doing whatever we need to do, because we know you guys are just overwhelmed with everything. But you can also feel that it's just a different environment. When you're just there,
family.
And there's no drama. There's no incidents there. And with there's many people that have come through there, you would think that daily there would be some conflict between you guys and somebody else. None of that, because it's God bless and everybody just knows, hey, IBTT.
We want a family atmosphere.
Absolutely.
We want like family. Like when we go out of town, we make sure we eat together. We still do that to this day. We just went to LSU with some of the kids for indoor. We had quite a few new parents, and they're not used to that with their old teens. But I'm like, we're trying to cultivate a family atmosphere. Like if your kid is out and you're not there and your kid is there, you know that your child is taken care of because they're going to treat them the same way they treat their own kids. So that's what we try to give, that family atmosphere of fun, just cultivate all that with so much negative going on.
No agendas.
It's funny that you said that, your kid will be taken care of. I remember that first track meet when Corbin was running and there were no parents allowed on the field. And normally up until that point, everything that Corbin did, we were there right there with him. And it's that first time letting going out.
Yes.
You don't know where he's going to be. He's only 8, 9 years old. And you're like, oh, man, what's going to happen? And then he just came back like normal. And after that, I just knew that he was going to be okay anytime he went somewhere. And we were with you guys at a track meet. There was nothing going to happen.
Yes.
Plenty of people looking out.
Yes.
Like you said, you're just a family. Somebody doing something wrong, they'll yank them up. Hey, what you doing over there?
Yank them up, exactly. Yeah.
So let's talk now about some of the athletes that have come through and have succeeded while they were with you guys and then have gone on and succeeded. I know there's a number of guys that you mentioned before. The main one that three or four of these guys I know, Caleb Hicks, the Bowen brothers, Jatavian, and, kind of talk about some of those guys.
Jay Sean.
Who is that?
I don't know if you remember Jay Sean. Jay Sean Smith that ran with us for many years, all the way up until he graduated.
Probably know him. I just don't really remember him right off.
Okay, you know him for sure. Yes.
You got to see his face.
You have to see his face. Jay Sean, he's running right now.
Is he?
And I think I can't think of where he's at now because he transferred.
University in Kansas.
He's in Kansas. He's running, doing an excellent job.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Excellent job.
Yeah.
Sophie Day. Remember Sophie Day? Sophie Day's back. Yeah. Nina, all of them were together.
But like I said, Jatavian, the Bowen brothers, Caleb Hicks. God, there's so many of them.
Yeah, you get lost.
It's so many of them that have gone, that were here and that are gone now, that if I miss them, I apologize because, it's been years, but a lot of them have pretty much almost a lot of the kids that are in the big places, Josh Jackson, all of them, they all filtered through IBTT.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you're in the Denton, Corinth, Louisville, Flower Mound area, you've heard of IBTT, and if you run track, then you definitely want to try to get on this team. I mean, how many are there right now? What's the total number of athletes you have right now?
We have probably last season we have like close to 4. You have close to about 400 or so.
Yeah.
But then you'll have, they'll sign up, but you probably have like about 300 who actually show up and work and stuff like that. But yeah, pretty much we would be close to about 4 and about at least 300 that actually make it through the season, run some and do stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I know since we've been there, it has grown so much. I mean, it's like turned over now because most of the older kids that were there have kind of gone on. And so we're,
they're going. Yeah,
people now. So it's always a good thing.
And that's why I tell people that with our team is that we try to cultivate where kids come and they stay. So I always tell them if you're the type that where it has to be about your child, then IBTT is probably not for you. Mm-hmm. We love everybody. So when we get a kid, if we have 300, we're going to try to make sure that 300, even if they're not, you're going to see. You may have some kids that's not even fast, but they're going to be out there running 400 just like everybody else, But when they start with us, like your babies, they start with us at 8, 9 years old, and they're all the way up 15, 16, 17. Most of the kids that run with us, the twins, McCavion, Dalia and them, all these kids have been with us since 7, 8 years old and been with us for years. And that's what you want to build, where kids can come and grow out of your program, So that's why I tell people that's what we look for. We want to compete. Yes, we want to win. But at the same time, we want to, like I said, have that family atmosphere where I don't want to go until it's time to go. We want to keep going with y'all year by year by year until our kids phased out or, they go on off to college or whatnot. So that's what we've been able to really do that.
Yeah.
Just a blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you mentioned your son, D'Antonio. I've had him on a couple of times. and your daughter Nina. Do you want to kind of talk about them a little bit and how they came up and through the organization and other things that they did as well?
Yes.
Right.
They started through the organization. Nina, not for track. Nina didn't want to do track, but we made her get out there, and we was like, track is a catalyst to everything.
Yeah.
So if you're a good basketball player, track is going to help you. You're a good football player, track is going to help you. And that's what we told D'Antonio. So D'Antonio ran track all the way up until he graduated. Yep. And Nina ran all the way up until she graduated because it was going to help them in all their other sports. And D'Antonio went off. He was blessed to go to Stanford, the second largest college in the world, university in the world, and the largest in the United States. Never would have been able to get there. They have like how many kids on waiting list?
So they 35,000, and they only take like about 1,000 of them.
Only 1,000.
Really?
They got 35,000 applicants, and they take about 1,000, 1,200.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, we couldn't afford to send them there even if we wanted to. And it's not like a school where it's just sports. So he went on an academic scholarship. When they get you, it's academic. But then, you play the sport. So we blessed enough to have his grades up. He graduated from there. And he had offers from everywhere. People be surprised at how many offers Don had. He had offers from all over the place. I mean, football schools. But when he got the offers from Duke, Stanford, Massachusetts, schools like that, I said, we're looking at your future. Only so many guys are going to make it to the pros. Yeah. So we want you to go to a school where if you graduate and being an African-American male, people will look at that and say, wow, you know what I'm saying? So you can market yourself. You'll be of value, And so once Stanford offered, Duke offered, all the other schools, I was like, thank y'all so much. He was like close to 30 offers. Thank y'all so much.
How did they 30? I didn't know he had that many.
Oh, and it was still coming.
Yeah.
And we had to finally, we had to tell them stop. We told Antonio, because they want to build up as many as they can. I said, no, stop. No more. These are the schools we're going to choose from. We went and visit Stanford campus, and we said then, this is where you're going to school.
We went to multiple other.
But this is where you're going to school. Yeah. And I tell you, that was the best decision we made because he ended up getting having the concussions.
Oh, okay.
So that's why he didn't play a lot. Yes, the concussions, and had high expectations. Off season, they say he was doing well. He was ready to go, and he suffered a hamstring injury, but then he suffered that concussion, and it was like
Stanford basically medically retired him.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because of the concussion.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But still covered his school, still covered everything. But now the connections that he has from that.
Yeah.
And the things that he's working on with people from Stanford and stuff, people are going to be so surprised that, just the benefits and the connections that he made from going there.
Yeah.
And then Nina went on and she went to UCA, University of Central Arkansas. She could have actually gone to Stanford as well because he went. So she could have piggybacked off of him, but Nina was a homebody. Nina did not want to go far. She didn't want to go to Arkansas, but luckily we had a lot of family there.
Yeah.
So she graduated her degree. But Nina's a dancer. So she realized that track and all that really helped her. So she travels. She's danced with H-Town. She was in the Tank and Jay Valentine's video, Slow. She travels around all over the place.
All over the country.
All over the country.
Went to Europe, UK.
No, she was doing that.
Yeah, she went to UK.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Yeah. She's with Changing Faces. She's all over with all types of people. So the dance and all that stuff, people are like, how do you dance like that? How do you move your balance? All that. Track is a part of all of that. So now, both of them are kind of thankful that, we stayed on them and pushed them, to do things that they didn't want to do, but now they're reaping the benefits of it.
Yeah.
So and they come out to help. So they help us with the kids as well.
Yeah.
We have several kids that come out to help that have ran with us in the past.
Yeah. Sophie. Sophie helps. Sophie comes out. But our thing is making sure they sew back as well. So they understand the importance of giving back. Giving back your time. You don't have money. You don't have whatever. You can always give your time and your gifts and your talents back.
That is that's a good thing for them to do. Which corporate would do that, or maybe he had time, he probably would. But.
Yeah, if he had time, I'm sure. Yeah. Right now, he's built a foundation so he can do what they're doing. Right. You know.
Yeah. So we're just hoping for good things for him. You know. So.
Absolutely.
So y'all were talking earlier about the indoor track season has already started, and we've got the summer season started. So you want to give some dates on that, and kind of people can kind of be aware of what's going on with that.
Well, the dates for like if anyone say like wanted to join the team, we're starting up our summer sessions. April, I believe it's that first week. The second week of April, we'll be starting our summer sessions.
April 15th?
It'll be April 14th will be when we start our summer sessions up.
Okay.
When we start up in April, we'll be going Monday through Thursday. I will have the times updated, but I do believe that we're going to start at 6:30.
6 first, right?
Is it 6 at first? Okay, 6. Okay, well, I need to let the coach know that it's going to be at 6. And so 6 for the younger kids and 6:30 for the older kids.
Okay.
And we'll be practicing at Denton High School. But if anyone is interested in, trying to sign their kid up or get more information, they can always email us at the I.B.T.T. I.B.T.T. Inc. at gmail.com.
Okay.
Or they can go to, our Instagram and Facebook as well.
Okay. So I'll have all that in the description so everyone can know exactly how to get in touch with you guys. And so you mentioned a couple of track meets, Clash of Texas and the Reckoning. So if people are interested in that, you want to give a little information on that, and there'll be this information in the description as well.
Yeah, the Reckoning is, like I said, I believe it's at April 5th. They would just, of course, have to get in contact with us so that we can get the kids signed up, because that's in Austin. Okay. That meet is going to be in Austin. Yeah. The meet also, the Clash of Texas, that's in May. I'll get the exact date. That's also in Austin as well, because they're still considered more of the off-season meets. And so, but when we start up in April, the end of April, when we start up the AAU meets, they're typically in DeSoto, Lancaster, Dallas. They're local. And then in June, we will start up our TAP meets. And so we'll run every Saturday in June. Those are local. Those are Lake Dallas, Denton, Flower Mound, Louisville. They're around the local areas.
Okay. And
then we'll roll over into August, and that's when you have the big meets to qualify for the state. August. June. Well, June. AAU. Well, yeah, AAU. Yeah, for that. The AAU meets,
July's TAP.
July's TAP. But the big meets will pretty much be in the July 1st of August.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll have.
So it's kind of a lot to retain as far as that goes.
Yeah. There's just something happening all the time from here on out, it seems like. So
yes.
I'll make sure to have everything in the description and everything, so everyone can have all the information and be able to contact you or whoever they need to contact. So I want to thank you guys for sharing your story. It was very interesting to me because like I said, I didn't know how that started. How IBTT started. It's good to hear that story. I like hearing historical things like that, just kind of, telling exactly how things unfolded. So, and I just want to say before you guys go that we can't thank you enough for how much time and effort that you volunteer for these kids and how much you've poured into our kids. And you've probably affected thousands of kids over the 18 years. So,
oh, I hope so. I hope so. Yeah.
Even if they stepped one foot and heard one word from you guys or learned anything from you, you've affected them. So you guys keep it up with whatever you're doing. We're going to try to keep supporting you guys, as long as we're there. And so,
yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank y'all. And y'all have a good night.
All right. Tell the kids we say hello.
All right. I'll tell them.
Tell everybody we say hello.
All right.
Enjoy. Thank you.
Well, I want to thank Coach Sparty and Coach Felicia for taking the time out to talk with us, joining me on my show. I ask you to check out the description and see all the things that they have going on, the things they have had in the past. There's some links to some YouTube videos of the track club and things that they have done. So go ahead and check that out as well. And we'll see you next time. I appreciate it.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.